Welcome to Forex Daybreak, a daily podcast where we cover 8 Forex pairs and give you our view on the market direction for these pairs. If you are trading Forex market, this is the #1 show to start your trading day. Now, let's begin today's episode.
Good morning everybody and welcome to Forex Daybreak episode 12. In this daily Forex update, I will give you my view on 8 Forex pairs I analyze using Elliott wave principle. My name is Ville Vainio and today is 24th of August 2015. Show notes for this episode can be found at forexdaybreak.com/12. Now let's get started. And let's move right on to the first pair, which is Euro-USD. The very strong upwards move has continued. Friday was a very strong day last week, and at the start of trading today we have already moved quite a lot. This starting move is 65 pips approximately at this point. We are now 114.4 levels and past the 100% Fibonacci expansion level, which was at 113.83. Next is the 161.8% Fibonacci expansion level, which is at 116.1 approximately. So perhaps this will continue towards those levels. Since this is a C wave, minute wave C, I'm expecting this to be a 5-wave structure, and there is hardly any corrections seen at this point, so perhaps we will see a corrective phase next. This has moved almost straight up from the low, which was at 110.16 about. Key levels for Euro-USD are that the minute wave A peak is on the downside. Minute wave B peak on the downside is the support right around 114.35, and on the upside there is the peak that is in May high, which is 114.65. So those are the key levels in Euro-USD to look for if this powerful up move is going to pause at some point and make a corrective phase. If you are going to trade this pair, I would perhaps wait for slight correction, a 3-wave pullback, and then enter, because I'm expecting this to continue higher. Next, let's take a look at dollar-yen. A very powerful move in dollar-yen. We are now at 121.25 approximately, and right at one resistance level at 121.19. is proposing that this is still minute wave 2 correction and a Y part of that correction. If this is going to go further down and below the latest low, which is minute wave 2 low at 120.4, if we start to decline below that level, then this wave count is incorrect and something else is going on, and perhaps this is even the start of a larger decline. Key levels on Euro Yen are that 121.19 is the immediate support level. Also I have 120.45 as a support level, and upside resistance 122 psychological level. Those are the key levels on US dollar, Japanese yen. I would not necessarily enter a trade at this point. There's probably going to be a corrective phase somewhere along this decline, perhaps even a turnaround. So I would hold and watch the markets. What is the next move going to be, if there's going to be a correction or even a turnaround to the upside. My wave count is proposing that this is only a corrective move down, even a very powerful one. But I would not necessarily enter any new trades on this pair. Next is pound dollar. And the progress here is quite muted. Nothing has much happened. Still, we are right around that upper trend line, upper area of this large sideways range. 156.75 is now the price. And hard to say what is going to be the next move in this pair. Both dollar and pound are weak, so this is more or less going sideways still. Key levels are the same as before. 156.4 is the support level, 156.9 is the upper part. Maybe slightly higher, 157.24 is now the high. Perhaps this can act as a resistance. This whole area is more or less a resistance and support zone. So hard to say what is going to happen here. I wouldn't trade this pair at this point. Next is euro pound. And here we have also strong euro going higher already. At the start of trading we have seen straight up euro has gone higher. 0.7958, sorry, 0.72958 is the price at right now. And key levels on euro pound are that downside support 0.722 area. Those are the recent few peaks dating back to July. And immediate resistance 0.7315, a smaller peak from June. Those are the key levels to watch for in this pair. The wave structure is still quite slightly unclear. I have labeled minute waves 1 and 2 of this upwards move, but I'm slightly hesitant to label this latest. It's still a 3-wave move at this point, so I would like to see a corrective phase and then a continuation on this uptrend. So then there is going to be a more impulsive structure. So this last part of the correction would then be in force and we should see more upside. This has been very strong, so perhaps there's an opportunity to trade. I wouldn't necessarily enter any trades just yet. I would look for how this develops during the day and perhaps look for a smaller correction to the downside and then going long. Next is euro yen. The progress here has been very anemic. The pair is right at the resistance area. 138.7 is now the price. And key levels I have 138.845, the immediate resistance at the upside. 137.785 on the downside will be the support. Maybe there's more upside in this pair. Hard to say. I have labeled this as third wave to the higher upside, but still unsure. This is not looking very impulsive right now. I wouldn't trade euro yen at this point. Next, let's see pound yen. A strong decline. The triangle I had labeled before wasn't quite satisfactory, so I have labeled this slightly differently. Now I have labeled the sideways range as wave B, and now this strong decline should be a C wave of minus wave 2. Key levels on pound yen are that there's a upside resistance around 190.54 and downside support 189.44, and I'm looking for this to be a 5-way structure, a C wave, and the conclusion for this minus wave 2 correction. I wouldn't necessarily trade this because I'm looking for this to turn around. This can go lower still. There is plenty of room on the downside, but hard to say where this decline is going to stop. So let's be careful and see how this turns out. Maybe we get a correction next and one more wave down. Hard to say at this point what is going to happen. Next is Euro Canadian, and Euro Canadian has pushed to new highs very strong at the start of trading today. Already we are 160 pips higher. My wave count is proposing that this is the last part C wave of this large correction, and we are now new midterm highs, so no immediate support or resistance levels. The key levels I have on here date back to quite a while. Let's see actually. So there is the next resistance level is the previous minor wave 2 at 153 even, and this dates back to almost 1.5 years. This is April 2014 level, so quite an old level we need to look for the next. Also the next support level is dating back to April 2014, and it is at 150 even. So these are the levels. Quite a long way needs to be checked for these levels. So this is looking very strong. The whole structure is intermediate wave 2 in my wave count. So when this turns around, we should see a very long bear market on this pair. But now at this point is looking very strong to the upside. There are no clear wave divisions on this latest push upward, so the correction is due, a smaller correction at least is due, so perhaps it's wise to hold trading for now until we get a clear picture of the wave divisions. Finally we have US dollar Canadian, and also a new high made here, but my wave count is proposing that this is a B wave correction, so this should be contained quite soon. The price is now 132.3, and key levels for US dollar Canadian. The next downside support, it's the latest high at 132.12 and 133.8. On the upside would be 161.8% retracement level of the latest decline from the latest peak to the bottom of the A wave. So if this continues higher, perhaps this 133.8 will give resistance. I wouldn't trade this pair at this point since this is a correction. I'm not looking for this to go much higher, and I'm looking for this to turn down to complete the minute wave 4 correction, and then we have one more larger wave to upside on this pair to look for. So this will give good trading opportunities. Okay, that's all for today's episode. Visit the show notes at ForexDayBreak.com/12 and leave your comments on that page if you have something to comment. Thanks for listening, and now go make some profits. I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thanks for your interest in Forex Daybreak Daily Podcast. If you like this show, we hope you'll visit our website, www.ForexDayBreak.com, and tell your friends about us. Be sure to check the show notes on our website for this episode. Join us next time for another episode of Forex Daybreak.